So, this video goes with nature of humanity. So, the first thing that you need to know is what exactly does that mean, the nature of humanity? Well, quite simply, it sounds complicated or complex, but it simply means what human beings like, what are their characteristics. So, for example, if it was what are the nature of dogs, then you might say loyal, noisy, energetic, playful, smelly if you're not really a fan of a dog. Now, but we're talking about the nature of humanity. Now, if you're doing this, right, remember it's what Catholics believe that human beings are supposed to be like. Now, the most crucial thing you can think about here is that Catholics believe that human beings, this can be your first point really, human beings have similarities with God. And this is because we have all been made in the image and likeness of God. So that'll be my starting point, okay? That we're similar to God. Why? Because we're made in his image and likeness. Well, that's sort of like your basic answer. What you've got to really then sort of do, the image and likeness doesn't mean exactly the same, okay? If you want, a little bit like an imitation. Well, if you've ever bought yourself a knockoff clothing item, it's never quite as good as the original. And it's kind of the same with human beings. So, if you think about, right, what is God like, the characteristics, the nature of God, and then compare that with human beings. So, maybe think about the omnis. So, I'm going to press pause on this video and just have a quick think. How did we describe God when we studied this previously? And are human beings like this? Are they similar to this? Are they exactly the same as this? And see if you can start thinking of some characteristics of human beings. So pause and have a go. Okay, so now that you've done that, right, hopefully you've got some ideas there straight away. Now, let's get into a bit more depth. So, one of the ways we describe God was omnipotent, but we're not all powerful. I know that Mr. Corcoran thinks that he's pretty omnipotent in the gym. However, that's not quite reality, okay? Instead, he might be just quite strong. Now, human beings, that we're not all powerful like God, but we do have power to do certain things. So this should kind of be a certain point, starting point. So, what have human beings got the power to do? Well, number one is that human beings have the power to create life, okay? And this is because human beings can create other human beings, and God told us to go forth and multiply. There's a teaching that will support your answer. Now, the next one, okay, is that human beings have free will. We have our own power to make our own free choices. So, how we can back this up is you can link it to Adam and Eve. Okay, so God, the two first, it was called human beings, or metaphor for humanity that we created, that Adam and Eve were advised not to eat from the tree of knowledge, but did so anyway. Why? Because they had the power to make their own choices. Okay, so the second kind of answer here is the fact that we've got free will. Now, another sort of way that we describe God is by calling him omnibenevolent. Okay, that God is all loving. Now, unfortunately, whilst we do try to love others, we're not all loving. But at the same time, are we loving? Of course we are. Okay, so human beings are loving. And what can you say about this? Well, quite simply, they are led by Jesus' teachings to love thy neighbour. Easy peasy. Okay, the next kind of thing we think about is when we do wrong, okay, when we do wrong, do we feel bad? Yeah, we do, okay? And the reason for this is that human beings are moral. Catholics believe that human beings are moral, okay? And the reason for this is that they believe that God's law has been imprinted upon us. We've all been given a conscience, okay? And as a result of that human beings are moral people, and that when we do wrong, we usually feel bad about it. Now, there's more than just this, okay? That they also believe that human beings are holy or sacred. And the reason for this is that we believe that God is within us. And the teaching for this is St. Paul said that we are vessels of the Holy Spirit. Okay, so you can say that when we're holy, God is within us. The next one is Catholics believe that we have a soul, or you could say that we're made up of two equal parts, body and soul. And the reason for this is Catholics believe that God breathed life into Adam, which means that we became alive when God breathed our soul, into us. Okay, so we believe that we have a soul, and that the reason for this is God breathed life into Adam. Now, the final sort of thing to think about here is when we're thinking about God, well, God is described as being perfect, okay? And human beings are far from this, okay? We're good, and it's a journey to be good in our lives. However, we are flawed, okay? Right? So Flawed, we are flawed. Or you could say that we have a compulsion or a temptation to do wrong. And this is because all human beings, right, are sort of similar to the metaphor of Adam and Eve, who, despite being, what's called, told by God not to eat from the tree of knowledge, that they still ate the fruit from that tree. Why? Because they were tempted, okay? They were tempted by the serpent, but we've all got that compulsion within us, okay? So right now, if you could get away with not doing this homework, some of you sat there be thinking, you know what, I probably won't do it, okay? Why? Because we have that temptation to do wrong, even though we know we're supposed to, okay? However, make sure you do this homework, because